Hello, loves. Welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, make sure you go do that right now with the button below. Hit that subscribe button, and then please drop a comment below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know how you are enjoying this video and what your biggest takeaway is at the end. As well, on top of that, go and check out the links in the description. I have some incredible free gifts for you to really get started with creating your time freedom, to creating your unique work style. There's a planner, there's an ebook, there's a free training. So make sure you go check out those, as well as the links below guide you to some courses that you can jump on to really start implementing the actual strategies, creating your own custom work strategy and time freedom visions. And there are some amazing opportunities for working with me one-on-one so that we can actually create your customized structure. So go check out those links below to either book a discovery call or one of the other one-on-one ways to work together with me. So let's dive into today's video. We are talking about how to really harness your productivity through balancing the masculine and feminine energies of how you are showing up to work. So this is a really, really huge part of not just creating balance in work and life, but also in really harnessing your unique productivity and also creating more time for yourself. That is the ultimate goal of what we're here to talk about. Yes, we are talking about your work style and how you are showing up and how can you get more done in less time and be productive. But what's the reason you want to do that in the first place, right? You want to live a life that feels aligned, that you have time to expand into the things that you really enjoy, to spend time with family, to travel, to have the financial means to do all the things that you want to do, right? It's about your time freedom. So when we're talking about the societal way of working, and that's really where I want to start off with this video to explain what these energies even have to do with your productivity and work. The dominant way of working really comes down to this masculine focused energy of how we're showing up. And the reason for this is very simply because the public sphere, which is the working space, the working world, corporations, businesses, etc., how we make money, how we go out into the world and serve and step into our purpose, we have been taught to work in our masculine energy in this area because who has created this area? Men, for the most part. If we go back in history, and it's as simple as that, the working sphere was the male space, the male dominated space, whereas the domestic sphere is where women were, right? They were tending to the household and raising the children. And so when we think about the characteristics and the type of personality traits that are valued in each of those spaces, we can very clearly link a lot of masculine traits to the way that we have been taught to show up in work. Does that make sense? So because of that, when we step into the working space, and as women stepped into the working space, it became a practice of adhering to the already dominant masculine ways of working that represented success in that space, okay? So when we think about how we are showing up to work today, let's just have a quick conversation about some of the, again, personality traits or characteristics that are valued in the work environment, right? There is structure, being goal orientated, really focusing on your accomplishments. Definitely some things that are not accepted in that space is emotionality, sensitivity. And this is not across the board. I know that there are a lot of really positive work cultures and environments, but we are looking at the dominant narrative right now because that is what most of us have been taught, right? This is the conditioning that most of us have. And so when we look at that space, there are just these certain ways that we've been taught to work, and they are heavy in this masculine energy. And when we think about the feminine, it's not as accepted in that space then. So I'm just going to break down briefly what masculine energy looks like and what feminine energy looks like, because there are real true superpowers and pitfalls for both of them. And then we're going to talk about how you can use them to actually harness your productivity and create this work-life balance that is customized to you. So when we look at the masculine side of how we have been taught to work, like we said before, there's a lot of focus on structure. There's a lot of checking things off your to-do list. There is value placed on being able to check a lot of things off, getting a lot of things done, having these status-based accomplishments or milestones. You have something to show for yourself. We're really goal-oriented in the masculine energy, and we're focused on these achievements and less so on the journey of getting to the destination and more so on that destination, right? We're also really valuing repetition, consistency, like how can we monetize these things? How can we just create a system that repeats itself, even if that means working on autopilot, okay? And we're also really focused on momentum. So it's this go, 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 get it done, be productive, and that's what it means to be successful in the work that you're doing, okay? Then we have the feminine side of things. And the feminine energy is very flowy. It is very much based on creativity and intuition and going with the feeling of, does this feel aligned? Do I really want to do this thing right now? Is there something else that I could do? Feminine energy is looking at the big picture vision. So instead of going through the to-do list and saying, boom, 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 I'm going to check all these things off because that's what's going to make me feel productive, we're looking at the big picture of, oh, where do I want to go? And what's the purpose of this? And how is this going to impact society at large? And how can I connect with these people or with this community in order to have an impact? So we're very impact orientated here. Like I said as well, we are prioritizing things based on the biggest impact. And we're also very much prioritizing this idea of rest and play and enjoyment. And in contrast to what I said before, the feminine is really focused on the journey. It's focused on that pleasure side of things, the enjoyment of how we're getting there. And quite honestly, and think about this for yourself, just reflect for yourself in your own life. Do you feel like those were qualities that were accepted / are accepted currently in whatever work environment you're in, or that you were taught to tap into? For most of us, we've been taught things like resting is lazy, don't sleep the day away, you got to take action and be productive. And if you weren't productive today, like, what did you do today? And really having that slow down creative space and being able to be playful or enjoy it, we really haven't never been taught to do things for the sake of enjoyment. It's always for the purpose of growth or to add to something, right? And so tapping into that feminine energy just isn't something that we have been taught to do. And that's not true for everyone. Again, we all have our unique experiences of how we have been brought up and the conditioning that we've gone through. But as a society at large, this tends to be true, that we lean more into that masculine energy. So like I said before, there are also superpowers to each of those. So with feminine energy, it really allows you to tap into that intuitive side of yourself. And this is a huge part of connecting back with your body that the masculine energy has completely disregarded. We are not taught to, pay attention to our body at all because the body is a nuisance, especially as a woman. And going through your menstrual cycle, for example, like that's a nuisance, right? I don't know what you've been taught growing up, but I had internalized thoughts and feelings around my cycle being a problem. It prevented me from doing things. It wasn't serving me, right? And so we have a lot of these narratives that have pushed out the feminine and pushed out the body, when in reality, the feminine teaches us to reconnect to our body because our body is our deepest source of wisdom. And when we can tap into what it is that we physically need and mentally and emotionally need, we are actually able to tap into our productivity. We're able to tap into that inner guidance that can lead us in the right direction, as opposed to doing things on an external level, which would be that masculine energy, where we're following a structure because we think that's the right thing to do, even if it doesn't feel aligned for what we're doing. Does that difference make sense to you? Just tune in and see if it does, because that's a really important separation that I want to make there. Then, of course, on the masculine side as well, we have these superpowers, which are having structure. If we don't have a structure, if we don't have that end goal in mind, then we can be enjoying the journey when it comes to work and success and the achievements that we want to make. But at the same time, do we even know where we're going? are we even going to get there? So we do want to have a plan. We do want to have that clear end destination put into our GPS, but we really want to create this balance between the masculine and the feminine on the journey of getting to that end destination, where we're not solely focused on just doing the thing and getting the results, but also not only focused on, oh, I'm just enjoying this process, but I don't really know where I'm going, right? So we really want to cultivate a balance between the two. And that's really what it comes down to when we talk about harnessing the masculine and the feminine energies in order to become more productive, or to become the most productive version of yourself, or to achieve the next level goal that you want, whether it's an income related goal or a business goal. Maybe you want to start your business or launch a course, or a career shift and get into that dream career, or manifest your dream partner. Whatever your goal is, we want to have a balance of both the masculine and the feminine energies. Here's the catch. And this is where the customization piece comes in and is incredibly crucial to making this work for you. So each of us fall somewhere on this masculine feminine scale. And I want you to think about it as a scale, that the masculine's on one side, the feminine's on the other side, and that we each individually exist somewhere on that scale. And I did mention before, most of us do fall more on the masculine side because that's part of the dominant narratives of society, but maybe that's not true for you. Maybe you are more on the feminine side and you are kind of in this flowy space, and what you do really need is more of that masculine structure, right? So wherever you're at, you want to identify where you are in that scale, and if it's more towards that feminine side or more towards that masculine side, so that you can actually start to balance yourself out. And if you're more on that feminine side, how can you bring in more of that masculine energy, and vice versa? And I want to just pivot into this here and say, you don't need to be smack dab in the middle and have the perfect 50% between each of them. You might need a 70-30 balance between the two. Maybe if you've grown up solely in strong, heavy masculine energy, 30% of that masculinity and that masculine energy is enough. And what you really need is like more of that feminine energy to balance it out, right? And again, this isn't about male versus female. It's about the energies, and all of us have a combination of these energies within us. And it's simply about what the ratio is and about how we accept them within ourselves. A lot of us most likely have rejected feminine energy, or maybe from your own personal experiences, you've rejected masculine energy. And so we really want to get to this place where we can accept both of those within ourselves, the combination, and see that with both of them together, that's how we create that balance. That's how we have strength to move through towards that next level goal with the clarity, consistency, and clear plan, and the flow, the intuitive side of things, and bringing our body into the equation. Okay. So there is a freebie below that you can go and download, which actually helps you walk through this. It is the Time Management to Time Mastery freebie. It's a free ebook, and there's actually a little quiz that you can walk through to see where you fall on that energetic scale. So let me know below in the comments where you think you fall. Are you more in that feminine energy, or are you more in that masculine energy? And if you have an idea of how you're going to start balancing that out for yourself, I would love to hear it. So let me know in the comments below. Again, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with someone you know and love, who you know would benefit from it, share it with someone who you don't know, and I will see you back here next time.